quite hard actually. Fun. And if you don't know yet what Aaltoes does, we mainly do promote entrepreneurship, organizing events like this, and we also do have few programs during the summer. One of them is called Summer of Startups, where you can build your own idea during the summer and coaching, and the other one is internship, where you get to work in a startup during the summer. And we have one other goal also, which is to grow founders, and this is basically what I'm doing here, my first event as I mentioned. Yeah, that's all about me and Aaltoes, and now I'm going to introduce themselves. So basically, if you could tell one by one who you are and where you come from and what your company does, really quickly, 2 minutes.
So, hello everybody, my name is Aaltoes and I'm Vice President of Production in Oncos Therapeutics. And we are doing oncolytic viruses that we use for the treatment of advanced cancer. So basically, we are doing small aliquots of drug, and these drug is actually already used at one hospital in Finland for treatment, and simultaneously we are starting up the first clinical trials to scientifically prove the efficacy and the safety of the product. And so far the results have been excellent. Due to that, we have got a very good investor from Sweden called HealthCap. We are building our own production facility in Aaltoes. So currently we are running pretty well, and we want to be the first drug biotech in Finland who really succeeds to get to market.
My name is Lars Saikola. I'm the CEO of Valoja. We do energy efficient greenhouse lighting. That's what I want you to see here. Basic technology is with our own LED technology, we provide plants with a color that make them grow in the best possible way. So in that way we can reduce electricity consumption, but also increase the speed of which the plants grow and improve quality. The issue in the market currently is high energy cost, a lot of light is needed, especially in northern regions of the world, and reducing these creates the market for us. A typical greenhouse company can have anywhere from thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of light fixtures. So even if it's a very niche market, it's not something to kind of disregard with them. We are now shipping lights commercially. We ramped up production during last autumn and are entering kind of rapid market sales phase. And currently we are 6 persons, increasing several persons by the end of the year. We have 2 investors, 1 German private individual and Finnish Helvar Merta family office investor.
Hello, I'm David Brown. I'm kind of here representing 2 companies today. One of them is Conatu. Conatu means carbon nanotubes, and it's a company doing transparent flexible electronics from nanocarbon. We have invented our own materials and the processes to print electronics with it. The other company I'm representative, I'm a founder of Conatu and the CEO of Conatu, by the way. The other company is a company called Aaltoes Pharma. I was the CEO of that and I'm a founder of that. And that company does inhalation particles, so inhalation formulation for drug delivery to the lung, for instance, systemic diseases. And both of these companies, their history is spin-offs from TKK, and both of them are pre-commercial. Both are doing projects with big companies worldwide to develop new products. And we're expecting the first products from Aaltoes to come on the market middle of next year. And Aaltoes is more of a licensing company, and we're already in projects with a couple of big pharma. And of course, as anybody knows in the pharma industry, it takes many years to get a product on the market. So that's a review of those.
Hello, my name is Christian Ranta. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mentor. Mentor has developed a new type of blood glucose meter for diabetics and also an analysis application, kind of like a cloud computing service, which helps diabetics and nurses and doctors to analyze the treatment status of an individual patient and help patients do better and help them with their diabetes. And we are shipping heavily, scaling up commercial operations. And what else? We were founded in 2006.
Hello, my name is Miika Perä. I'm one of the co-founders of Aaltoes. What we do is we do smoke alarms. Up there you see one of the ugly smoke alarms, and we do our business idea is to do much better looking smoke alarms. So I'll give you here some so you can take a look. And we are launching the product for Europe-wide this summer, and it's produced in China. And yeah, and we hope it will be a success. And then on forward on that, like what we're gonna do next is introducing more models. Those models are designed by one of the Finnish top designers, Harri Koskinen and Paula Suhonen. And then we're looking to hire more better designers from over the world and going onwards.
Yeah, and before we start, I would like to mention that you can raise your hands and ask questions all the time during the panel. Yeah, let's get started. Let's start from scratch. You are all making physical products, and I would like to know how to get the information from the future customer before you really start making your first prototype, because it's quite hard if you don't know what the customer wants and you lose a lot of money making the product and nobody wants to buy it. So how to know what your customers want?
Yeah, basically we did market research, just printed out 3D pictures of what the smoke alarms would look like, and then went out there and to the backyard of Koraut and asked people like what kind of smoke alarms do they want most. So that's what the earliest that we did. Yep.
Someone else want to answer the question?
So, this all really depends on what kind of product you're producing. I'll give you a case of Aaltoes. Aaltoes has kind of a platform technology. The technology can be applied, for instance, solar cells can be applied to touch screens, can be applied to displays, can be applied to fuel cells. It's quite a kind of a universal technology. So we spent, I would say, a year and a half just talking to customers in all these kinds of fields, asking what they'd be willing to pay, what kind of products they want, what would be their initial volumes, what would be their final volumes, calculating what our cost of production would be, calculating how long we could go to volume production in any one of these areas. And it took 1,000 conversations with 1,000 different companies to whittle down the top, let's say 50, then you had more conversations with, and then whittled it down to maybe 15 that you decided are in your focus area. So it's, you have to be willing to talk, and talk a lot.
Yes.
So you're saying that you have to be out there talking to people before you have anything, perhaps any finalized idea what you are to manufacture or what your final product will be?
Well, like I said, it really depends on your market. If you have an idea, for instance, for your product, it's an attractive smoke detector, it's clear what the product is, you just wanted to find if people wanted it. Ours was kind of on the opposite spectrum. We had a technology that was looking for a product. So we had to make that match.
In our case, we took a very kind of practical path. We basically we knew we can make different color spectrums, which is really a key for what we do, and we just needed to get something done, and we just started prototyping, and then at some point, at one point we just decided that now this is a product, and then we went to the global horticultural fair and showed it up there as a kind of great product. So what this enabled us to do is that we got to visit the customers, talk to them, take their criticism on the product, that it's ugly or it's big or it's heavy, and then also at the horti fair we talked with the customers again, getting our feet wet and I mean learning this way. We got a lot of information that we never could have accessed just by doing desktop studies or just visiting customers without having anything with us. So now that kind of go through that evolution, we now have something which is significantly better than the first one.
Of course, for the drug development business, the key thing is that we have something which is functional, which is really functional. And then the rest, we need to comply with the regulatory requirements, and that's pretty much enough. The drugs we are developing, they are administered at hospitals, so we don't need to care about design things, at least at this stage. But I have some previous experience with different products. It was in vitro diagnostics used as well in hospitals, and we did a rather big market research, and people were saying that, okay, your product is excellent, you just need to implement and we will buy it. Then we implemented it, and they said, oh, do we really need to pay for that? So this is very good product, we could start using it, but could you give it as a free for us for evaluation period of 3 years or something like that. So it's not always enough that you go to the customer and ask what you want, or if some idea is okay for you. It's a completely different thing when you have it physical and you request a price for that. That is when it's really weighted or valued, whether you have done something which is valuable for the customer. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, I think that I agree with you, but I think that the key thing that we did in the beginning was pretty much what the other guys have also done, but I think it is mainly to just go out there on the field to discuss with people. Because you can just go like within your team or whatever and hold in whichever room you have, you can pretty much figure out all kinds of cool things. But then on the other hand, it just usually isn't enough. So you can come up with the initial idea, but I would always go to the field, talk to the users, talk to the different groups. You know, like we talk to a lot of doctors, nurses, diabetics, and you know, diabetic children, family members, and so on, so that we really understand what is the whole scope. And then we, in addition to that, we did a lot of user-centric studies. In a way, not like market research. We knew that the market exists. There's diabetics all over the world, and it's a growing epidemic. But we did kind of like user-centric design models and so on, and we tested with people and how did they see them in their daily life. Were they different to what they had nowadays, or what the current products they were using, and how did they reflect, and what kind of feedback we got, and then we selected the kind of like final route. And then once again we validated that with the customers.
Thank you. And then I have another question about prototypes. So, how to get financing for the first prototype? It's easy. Everything on?
How if I start, since I'm having the mic. I think Tekes was for us and Keksintosäätiö. And I don't know if it's easy or not, but you know, I guess it depends on the idea and on your people skills. How good you are with the Tekes officials and filling the paper. So we got the financing pretty easily. It didn't, you know, it was a couple of nights filling some papers and writing the project plan. But I can only speak for myself.
You have some additional ones? What do we have?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different story. We got first tulip funding, and then we went out there looking for additional funding at many angels and VCs, but basic answer was no. And then because we wanted to do it, so then we just took a bank loans and that's the basic financing for us at the moment.
Thank you. Do you have any other?
Well, I think getting funding is not that hard maybe, but to be able to make a project plan and to be realistic, that might be a bit challenging. So it's very common that you underestimate the effort you need for producing prototypes. It really takes time and it really takes resources, and you need to be prepared for different kind of surprises during the development. Even trivial things may go wrong, and you need to start or redo some prototypes, and it's very costly.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add?
I don't know if it's the nature of our product or basically maybe it's both. It's the nature of the product and also the team we have, that we've been able to do quickly prototyping and very efficiently. That we know where to kind of pick the components and how to put them together, and this has been this has enabled us also to do a lot of these things with our own money. Of course, then, I mean, later on we get something from Tekes or we got from Aaltoes was actually a good first subsidy. So, but in our case, the prototyping has been one of the kind of key strengths for us, being able to do it quickly and for us in a very cheap way.
For us, the story was more academic to start with. The original technology was invented via Academy of Finland research, and at the time, that this is no longer the law, but at the time, if the inventors patented, paid the patent cost, the inventors owned. You guys don't have that luxury anymore. Now the university owns it. So we were lucky, in fact, when the law was changing, we were busy writing patents before before that happened. So the initial stuff, initial basic development was done purely through Academy of Finland funding. And then later, we had to get angel funding, and we were lucky enough to get an excellent angel here in Finland who funded the first part, and we recently closed the second round of funding with a Finnish venture capitalist. And all of this funding was matched by Tekes. So Tekes basically has funded half of it.
Thank you. Then I have one more question. Okay.
What do you have to have ready when you're asking for funding for TechX, for example? You have to have viable product, but that's the idea.
It could be anything. You can have a PowerPoint presentation and you might get funded for it, or you can have a ready product and Tekes decides that it's not sexy enough or not interested in that. How good a salesman are you?
Thank you. So one more question about prototypes. So how did you make your first prototype? What was the way? Did you make it by yourself, or did you outsource it? And how did you control it if you outsource your own prototype making?
So taking the first light fixtures, we used something that was ready to some degree. So we put together the first lens, basically kind of not physically ourselves, but highly controlled. Then used kind of fixture casings which were ready. Could be a garage light or a street light, and it became something physical later on, we kind of went into kind of own or proprietary fixtures, and then that becomes a bit longer process. But we've everything has been made by somebody else, so we're not sitting. Not all of us all the time sitting making something at the office.
Any other story?
So currently the drug product, we are doing it ourselves, so it's basically 6 weeks of cooking things in the laboratory and then having a heavy quality control round after that. And the process development has taken some 4 years or something like that. I have some previous experience, and then we outsourced basically most of the prototyping, and it's one kind of art how you control the whole chain of making the prototypes. So it's rather difficult and heavy task if you integrate different kind of engineering views together and try to find a partner for each of the views. So it's really hard, and you need to be really open-minded to go into areas that you really don't know by your heart, but you just need to find out the crucial things there, because you can't really rely on your partners that you're paying, because they just want to make money off your product if you haven't chosen the correct partner, and that's very, very difficult.
Actually, yeah, I fully agree there, because I think that we actually did the mistake in the beginning that we tried to outsource the prototype development, and we failed. The small kind of prototype assembly shop, what we were working with, they didn't really care about the thing so much as we did. So I think that's one of the biggest learnings for us, also in other phases of the company, when we went to find a manufacturing partner and so on. But it's really, really important that you actually have all the most important things in your own hands in the beginning, or in each phase when it really matters. So that the prototype in that phase, it's all that matters. You have to be able to create or come up with a good prototype. So I think you should keep it in your own hands. And what we then did after we failed with the original partner, we hired an ex-Nokia guy who was really a mechanical engineer and head of mechanical engineering from Nokia. And I don't know how we got him on board, but he just somehow liked us. And we got also at the same time we got the Tekes funding with him being on board. And then he started driving that, and he became our CTO and still is. Then it really started happening.
You need to have something to add.
Yeah, we did one of the early prototypes by ourselves, and then after we got a manufacturing partner from China, then basically after that they made all the prototypes for us. So it's outsourced.
Yeah, thank you. Igor, because you have the mic, I have a question for you, because you have been doing this. How is the bureaucracy behind getting a CE certificate? Is the bureaucracy easier or not?
It's because we have a safety product. It's our smoke alarm has to go through around 20 different tests. They test smoke sensitivity and vibrations and all sorts of that kind of stuff. It takes time, and there is around 10 laboratories in Europe which do that kind of thing, and then they have some queues and but it's what's taken us so long is we've been like iterating the product. We haven't been fully satisfied with the products which are coming from China, and we have to iterate them like to fulfill the quality. So that's why we haven't been able to do the CE certification earlier. But it should be like the testings, they are now like 80% done. There is only a couple tests left. So what we did, like, because there was very little information in the beginning how it's going to be done, C certification, we hired some consultant from Netherlands to do it, like do some information searching for us, and then we just contacted VTT here in Finland. Do they do any more that kind of stuff? But they didn't do. And then we just went out for the internet and looked for possible partners, and then just contacted them.
Thank you. And then let's move forward. One really important thing, in my opinion, is patents. How to get and protect them.
I'll answer shortly. We don't have patents, we have 2 utility patents. One advice I would say, like lawyers, they want to always sell these patents, like utility patents, they're not fully patents, but like the protection, what you can get from it, it's always depends on the case. Actually, like what's the funniest thing is we've been there is somebody in Germany who has utility patent for this kind of gecko lizard smoke alarm, and they're saying it's too similar with one of our models, but we'll see how it develops. So with utility patents, always like think it through very well before you execute.
Well, we've chosen to be very active with patenting and chosen that as a way to protect ourselves. I think first you need to evaluate that is this a kind of a road for you to take, is it suitable for your business and business model and your product, or do you just want to keep something secret instead? And once we have decided that, we decided I think it's important to have a patent lawyer or a patent expert who you're working with, who understands your needs. If you need somebody who will write a lot of the stuff for you, you should find someone like that, or you should not to be writing yourself most of the patent and then just kind of have it double check why somebody should for the person like that. In the first case, if you have somebody putting a lot of hours in making your patents, it's going to be expensive. It's just as expensive, but you need to evaluate what you are going to put down for that and what you will get in the future maybe. And in our case, we decided to be active in patents.
Yeah, we are,
How expensive it is?
I don't know yet. But we're just in the beginning and have filed several patents, but it's going to cost you, depending on how much time this guy puts in, maybe 10,000 euros to get something filed, depending on how much work, but then you'll spend some time waiting and the patent becomes public, and then people will start challenging it, and you will have to write letters and make new research, and the patent guy will again send you bills, and then you will have to start to make translations and pay official fees, and it's going to be expensive. Well, everything is relative depending on how much money you have, but
I can say, for us, patenting is our number one expense. It's more than machinery, it's more than salaries, it's patenting. But we're an IP-based company. We've invented new materials, new processes, and those must be protected. So the company doesn't exist without that protection. So it's key.
Yeah, Christian, something.
thanks. So, yeah, we've also always patented pretty much quite a lot of stuff. So I think we just recently got the main patent granted in the European Union level, and we filed that patent in 2004. And it's definitely a lengthy process. And I think the main patent has cost us so far maybe close to 100,000 euros, I guess. And now we are, that's already including some of the translations. So, you know, if you count those out, it would be maybe somewhere around 60,000. But then it depends on in which countries you want to translate it, you know, in which languages and so on, and in which countries you want to make it valid. So then it depends on how much you have to pay for different versions of the same patent in different languages and so on. And then I think for us, it also depends on the industry where you operate and what is your industry and the market. And for us, it definitely became obvious from the beginning that all the other companies have shitloads of patents, to be honest, in the blood glucose monitoring field. And we definitely thought that, okay, if we want to be there, if we really want to have something unique, if we want to compete, we probably have to come up with some good patents. and luckily we have some good guys. You know, mainly one of the co-founders committed himself pretty much on writing and searching other patents and finding a way around the competitors' patents. And then we hired a good patent lawyer. So it has been very important for us.
Thank you. And let's move to testing. So how did you test your products so you don't get too much refunds for the launch?
For us, we went through a big protocol. Well, first of all, we are under ISO, a couple of different ISO quality systems, so we have a huge quality system in place, and the development of that only took half a year or so for like several people. But I guess that the biggest thing was for us that, okay, we were compliant with the quality system, with the directives, and then we did a lot of testing in a similar way as cell phones are tested, so drop testing, EC testing, whatever, and or EMC testing and so on. So, you know, there's, depending on the product, there's different kind of testing you need to do. And if it's a CE product, then it's, you know, if you need a CE mark, then there's going to be more. And if it's just some kind of, you know, I don't know, software or whatever, then it's different.
Yeah. And have I seen some weird features that you have tested your product in front of the ranger cars or something?
Yeah, we tested last summer some basically we are testing it in China. There is much better equipment to do testing there, and then some of the testing we've outsourced, like EMC testing. It's outsourced in Shanghai. We did some there, and so yeah, basically last summer we did some fire sensitivity testing, just compare with existing smoke alarms and check out the times and when they're gonna like alarm. And some of the testing we've done also by ourselves, like sound testing and that type of stuff.
Yeah. And how is it with the viruses?
Yeah, so basically we are doing the testing at the moment, and if we are lucky, we will have the product ready in 8 years, and testing will cost hopefully not more than 200 million euros or something like that. So basically, that's the main thing in the drug development, to test and show the safety and efficacy.
So we have a question.
Yes, could you say a little bit about your situation with patents? I didn't recall. Did you mention that?
No. So basically, of course, our drugs are patented.
Yeah.
So that's a very basic thing. Nobody would fund a drug which is not patented. And well, that's pretty straightforward thing. We just need to find a niche what has not been patented and then patent that one. And it's a minefield, the drug patents. Everything is basically patented, but
you need to just find your unique approach that you can patent.
Do you have anything to add about testing?
I can briefly say, in Aaltoes, we're a materials provider and component provider, so the final testing is done on a product level by the ultimate customer, so the OEM building the device. So we do our own internal testing to convince the OEM that they should include our stuff in their devices, but they're responsible then for the final testing. So it's a little less severe for us.
Okay. That's a good point, convincing the customers, and we of course tested on a lot of different levels, but our customers are very skeptic about LED lights in greenhouses in general, so I think kind of a marketing test or anything. In terms of the customer size, they buy a few 5, 10, 20 fixtures, and then they want to see themselves that it's working in their place. And once they have tested that, then they're ready to make a bigger order. So maybe that's kind of a bit similar here, and then also the tests are also used in just getting into the customer and having them prove to themselves that it really works.
Thank you. I'd like to one more point about that. I mentioned the other company, Aaltoes Pharma, and that's a company making drug formulation. So the whole model of Aaltoes Pharma is we develop the methodologies, and we don't ever expect to be spending $200 million to take the product all the way to market in that field. We decided at the beginning that that was just too big a hurdle to ever approach, and we would stick to developing the technology and demoing it for customers, and when they were satisfied, they would then buy the slices of that technology for their use. And it's very different than in the drug field, in the medical field, than in the electronics field. And you can see the clear difference in the way a company is structured because of those hurdles.
Thank you. And then let's move ahead, and would like to know how to find and manage partnerships, and if you have outsourced your product making, how did you do it, and how much you're doing things by yourself?
We are using electronics contract manufacturers, and right from the beginning, not in the immediate beginning, but very soon we started using 2 contract manufacturers just to keep them both on toes and having kind of healthy competition between those guys. And also when we were we were starting production, the input from kind of 2 production managers instead of just one was really valuable for us, because they can't really charge all those hours they put into to kind of look at the product. So that gave us kind of a double kind of impact in the beginning. And how to manage those guys, I don't know. With one of the contract manufacturers, we have an excellent relationship. They're highly professional, and it's easy. With the other one, it has not been that easy. I would say. But I believe that it has been easy with the other one, because they see us as a strategic customer. Their current customer base is very much in the telecom sector, and they really want to have something else than just telecoms equipment. So they are putting an extra effort to having something in the LED space also, I think. And also the guy who's responsible there for our relationship is very high up in the organization, and he has kind of a very strong interest in seeing that this really happens. So I would suggest just try out more than just one option in the beginning, and then I don't know. We found something that works for us now very much. So.
Again, for Aaltoes, much of the partnering at this stage is at the equipment level. We're manufacturing components and materials, so we're looking for partners who see the vision of the company and share the vision of the company and see the potential in the future and are willing to put in their own sweat and tears with us at the beginning. And that has been very important to find these partners, and we've gone through quite a lot of interview process with potential partners. and only those that, you know, meet the qualifications and share the passion have we gone ahead with, and that, I think that's very important. Because all of these entrepreneurial ventures are high risk. You have to have a dream and you have to share a dream. And I would advise you to do the same, to look for those partners who are passionate.
Yeah, from my experience, I would say that selecting the right partners is the key thing. So it cannot be stressed too much.
I would like to ask, how did you select your partners?
So basically, currently we are doing the production ourselves and together with one partner, so for different projects. And we used 2 months on the road trying to find a partner. One key thing is that you need to know what you are really outsourcing. So you can't like outsource everything. You need to really be active, you need to understand, and you need to be able to very carefully define what is the thing that you are outsourcing. So basically what we are doing, we just duplicated our production process into another facility which is compliant with the regulatory requirements. And so far we have been rather successful. It's a rather good relationship with our contract manufacturer. And I've heard some rumors from our competitors that it's always not as easy as what we have faced in this project.
Okay.
I think one practical advice would be to just ask different partners the same thing for offers. See if you can get the offer and compare the offer not only in terms of price, but also that does it look professional, is it broken down in all the cost items and time schedules, that you just get an A4 with a €1 price and then sign here. You should not then you should really look for other partners to compare.
Yeah, I completely agree. We didn't choose the cheapest one because we didn't see the correct understanding of what they should be doing. And we spent several days of discussion to really understand together with the partner what was their view on what are the responsibilities of the partner. That was the key thing, I think, why we have been so far successful.
Our main partner is, in my opinion, the manufacturing partner in China. And how we chose that, we just checked from Alibaba, who makes smoke alarms, and then we went to China and basically to the factories and showed our models and told our business idea, and then had a look on the quality systems and how was the factory managed and so on. I would say it's there's because we are quite small partner for them at the moment, and if you want much better quality from China, for example, you have to go and look for bigger factories and bigger firms, and then if you are small, then they don't have so much energy into you, so it's like a compromise sort of. But basically, it's just go and talk with different partners before you make contracts or anything like that.
Yeah, Mika, I would like to ask, if I remember correctly, you said last time you were here giving us insight what you are doing. So, was it so that you do only mouth-to-mouth contracts in China, or do you make real paper products?
Yeah, we have paper contracts on paper, and advice like, how did I say it last time? It's like, it's basic on like operational day-to-day operational basis. It's how things go smoothly. You have to have very good contact with them, and like it's more like mouth-to-mouth agreement. But then if you have the paper contract and there is it detailed like what you agreed on, then you can you can just point that hey, you promised this and this. So so it's actually like having the paper contract with the Chinese manufacturer. It's helped us a little bit. I've heard like some people who import stuff from China and have factories there. They like some say it's you only need like mouth-to-mouth contract, but it's the hurdle you go through making the paper contract, even if it's like when it's like a little bit bigger deal or agreement, it's definitely worth it.
Would you like to, Christian, add something? Or?
I don't think I have anything to add here. Just, you know, would say that I agree that it's really, really important to choose the right one and do it carefully.
Okay, thank you. I would like to know, for you, all of you guys, so what has gone wrong along the way?
So many things that I could spend an hour on. That only, but
Okay, like 2 minutes.
yeah, okay, I thought so. So I guess that the, you know, I think once we chose the wrong partner in the manufacturing in the beginning, so that's one thing. Really carefully select your partners, and you know, so they share the passion as well. And that they, because if they don't share the passion, then you're number 125 on their list, and then you don't get things done. And but I think that the maybe the biggest thing that in my mind, what has been the most important thing for us has been that select the right people. So if you select the wrong people, you need to sometimes just let them go. And if you have the wrong kind of people who don't share the same mindset and you know, share the same passion, you just have to let them go. And you have to be willing to fire and kick people out. And you have to be able to select the right ones going forward. You have to be able to select more the right ones than the wrong ones. And you know, I think the best companies select at least 9 out of 10 right. Because people mess up things the worst, you know, or the most, if you have the wrong people before. So nothing too much detail there, but the team, that's the most important thing. But it's also very easy to go wrong.
Yeah, I definitely agree on you that like, select right people, and then there is lots of things which we could have done better and which have gone wrong. But in the end, in my head, it boils down to like one simple thing. Always just ask questions, like stupid questions from every sort of stuff. It's the one of the only thing you can find those possible problems which are lurking behind the next corner, and many of our problems we could have avoided if just we would have asked the right questions. And then always double check if you outsource something and it's a first time partner, you don't know how they operate, just always don't trust, just always double check things.
Do you guys have anything to add?
Well, to carefully define things on paper, what you are outsourcing, what you expect from your partners. I think that's very important. And the second thing is that you need to really concentrate on the essential things and try to avoid doing anything which is extra. So really to use the resources where you really need that, because I think no one has that much resources in the beginning that you can do nice things. You just need to concentrate.
I guess this is not something that we did wrong, but due to inexperience in this field, we had maybe some wrong expectations, especially when we started working with the contract manufacturers. We kind of thought that the product is like 90-95% ready, and we just send over a few pictures, and 1 month later there starts, we get nicely packaged products, marketing, everything is okay. Has not been the case with the two ones that we have been working with. There is a huge amount of details, cables, standards, type of cables, small, tedious, boring components you need to kind of choose and select. And then if you happen to have telecoms manufacturer who is doing kind of 99.9999 quality, then they will be kind of even more tedious, the detail. They are used to be working with kind of really small error margins. So once you kind of get the big picture ready, I think you're ready. You have to be prepared to spend a lot of time getting the product in production, and this was something that we thought would be much easier and take kind of just a few months or a few weeks, and then have to wait for some components. And then there happened to be a global component shortage, which even made it more difficult. So.
Yeah, I'm struggling here to think of what would be good to tell you we did wrong. I think it comes down to wrong timing. And I don't have a rule for what's right or wrong, but certain things we did too early. I would say certain things we patented too early before we knew everything, and then they had to go and repatent or do costly modifications. Other things, for instance, exactly in patenting, we patented too late. One of our patents, we were about 6 weeks too late, and somebody else patented it first. So how was somebody to know whether to, for instance, in patenting, to wait and get more data before you file a patent, or do it now because it's a good idea and somebody else might think of it, and we have examples of both. So also about timing, for instance, it's important often to act quickly. Again, I can give examples where we delayed an action for either a monetary reason or a personal reason, and that cost us development time or cost us a partner or something like that. And I can mention actions where we moved too early, where we weren't ready for something and we still moved because we thought we had a time limit that we didn't have. So, you know, much of it comes down to luck. There'll be mistakes, accept it. You'll make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and just move on and correct them as fast as you can. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. And we have a question.
Has it been worth it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love doing this. It's really. I really don't want to sell these. I just think they're so nice. So it's a good party with them.
Can we turn them up?
Let's start growing.
Yeah, you can put it off also then.
Yeah.
So the question is it worth it? What do you want out of life? Is my question back. I left a really comfortable life as a kind of a contract academic researcher to jump into the world of entrepreneurship, where who knows if you have a job tomorrow, who knows if your company's alive tomorrow. But I think it's been a fantastic experience. I wouldn't give it up for anything. And I assume all of you are in this room because you want that kind of experience as well. So yes, it's worth it.
I think there is not much to add.
Mika, no. What about the audience? Do you have any more questions? No?
Okay, I have one. We've discussed like patents and how to make, components in China and stuff like this, and mentioned like one channel, Alibaba.
Yeah.
But could you do a fast round and tell it, the most important channels that you got to learn during your, learning episode, being an entrepreneur?
Fairs find you like the most biggest fair where all the people and buyers are. That was the most important channel for us about talking sales wise.
I think that first of all, use Google a lot, but everyone knows that. You'll find information from there, you'll find companies from there. And then the second thing, fairs, definitely, I agree. But then, which has been really important for us, is the right people. So, we've tried to gather the board of directors and, different kind of expertise into the company that has helped us tremendously to finding different key companies through the existing networks of these people.
Meeting a lot of people and discussing a lot. Then you should
Agree with that.
David had any?
Again, you never know where that key contact is going to come from. So some random conversation could be key to the future of your company. Be always open.
Any more questions?
You mentioned that you did some iterations with prototypes in China, and also you mentioned getting the CE certification. I was just wondering if you could let us know some figures for how much that costs.
You mean the prototypes? How much they cost?
Yeah, I mean, you said did you do some iterations with the Chinese manufacturing partner?
Yeah.
How much money have you spent on that?
Basically, we have a product development contract with the Chinese, so it was included in that. Most of the prototypes, by making prototypes out of plastic, SDS, and then putting some electronics in there. It's hundreds. It's not thousands. It's hundreds. If you have a small product.
What about the CE certification?
Yeah, it will cost us a little bit over 50 to 60 thousand euros.
You said 50?
50
50.
to 60.
Yeah, we had a question here in front.
Yeah, what about service? Are you going to do it yourself or outsource it?
We're not gonna do any service, like just give a new one.
Yeah, same for us. I think we do have an after-sales service for the people and the nurses and doctors, but we are not really going to be servicing the devices either. They're just don't, they don't cost that much to manufacture per piece, so there's no sense in putting any hours or minutes in servicing them.
What about distribution channels? Like, how did you sort of find the right distributors and sort of what's the good way to approach that?
We went, checked out the world's biggest product fair, and then we went there, had a stand there, and just sold our product, and then we met a huge amount of people, and then after the fair, so you start discussing, calling, and mailing with them, and then you start to see who is the most potential partner in each geographical area.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering, at least Yala, you manufacture your products in China. So did you have any consideration on the ethical side of the manufacturer? Like, did you find out how they treat their employees and how they pay them and stuff like this?
Yeah, it's like when I first went there, it's really like one of the factories we visited. It's not our factory. There was like really bad working conditions, and like you saw a person who was soldering like electronics with his bare hands, and he had lots of these burnt marks on his fingers, and then there was like constant like because it's smoke alarm factory, it's like the test, it's lots of noise, beeping all around, it hurts your ear. But yeah, it's like that was one of the factors why we chose our current factory was there was like better working conditions for the people.
Thank you. Any more questions? No.
Actually, there is. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'd like to hear from the others as well. So.
Channels.
You were asking about distributors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we basically use the same route, the fairs, trade fairs and such, and then through people, through the right kind of, our board members, whatever, management people, some advisors and so on. So usually people know other people who know, good companies and bad companies. So that's my call.
Yeah. I've been involved in the past round of finding distributors, and you just need to spend long hours in the meeting room and try to understand the potential partner, whether they will put you on their product catalog page 2 or 164. So you just need to be sure that they share your enthusiasm.
Another thing that is how do you make sure they make enough money on your product? You might have a better product if somebody offers them 10 euros more per piece and marginal, so then they forget to sell you.
And we're not quite like the rest because we're selling to OEMs who are doing the final assembly manufacturing, and then they sell on and they have their distributors. So we have chosen, for instance, our first markets, and that's in the touch sensor area. So we know by name all the CEOs now of all those companies, and we talk to them directly. So
yeah, thank you. I think this is it, and let's give a hand to our panelists and thank them.